Welcome to this official ITM Platform training video. We will now see how to use some advanced scheduling techniques. First, let's discuss lag and lead time. Lag and lead time will allow you to control the scheduling better. For example, if I would like to enter extra time between two tasks that are already linked through a dependency, instead of modifying the duration for the task or entering a constraint, what I can use is lag time. For example, let's say that I need to add 2 days between these two tasks. I can right-click, edit the task, and in the predecessors column, where my link is, I'm going to find the lag column. I can simply enter the number of days, for example 2. If I click on Save, now I will see that ITM Platform calculates 2 extra days before starting this new task. I can do the opposite as well. For example, this task, I would like to start it earlier. I can simply type in the code like we had before for the lag, but this time the lead time is going to be a negative time. So by modifying these, I'm going to need to enter the negative time. For example, 1 day before. Instead of lead and lag time, I can also use constraints. Constraints are created when I directly manipulate the start and finish dates. However, the best practice is to manually set them up. For example, if I right-click and edit the task, I will be able to go to the Advanced tab. At the Advanced tab, I'm going to find the constraint type. So it is recommended that first we select the constraint type and then the constraint date. Right now, I can see that my task has been calculated for this date. I can change the constraint type, for example, to start no earlier than, and then select the proper date. And now I'm not changing the dependency. However, I'm setting a specific constraint. To remove a constraint, I need to go to Edit Task and delete the constraint type. Instead of creating constraints, you can also work with manual scheduling. For example, I can right-click, edit this task, and in the General tab, I can set this task to be manually scheduled. This means that now I can freely enter the start and finish dates as I want, and I won't be creating any constraints. I just need to be careful because this assumes that I'm skipping part of the scheduling engine. But as we can see, since the task has been set to manual, there is no constraint. I can also have multiple dependencies. This is important when in my schedule I have multiple paths, which is common. So to add more dependencies, we can do just as we did before, or we can simply add a semicolon in between the IDs of our linked tasks. When I make these changes, I can also select certain tasks that have been modified, and if I want to make sure that I'm following the dependencies, I can click this button, Automatic Task Scheduling by Dependencies. Another advanced technique for scheduling that we have is calculating the duration based on the effort. We will see in another video how to create the project team and how to assign tasks. But let's use an example. This task is already assigned. And this task has a value for effort. Let's verify it before making changes to the schedule. Let's go to the Task tab. In this area, ITM Platform will show me all the tasks created, this time in a table. I'm going to click on the name, and I will have access to a lot of details for my tasks. Let's click on Effort, and from this area, I'm going to see who has been assigned and the effort for this task. Let's go back to the Gantt. I'm going to select a task, and to properly see it, let's expand the view. And now we have this button at the top. Set task duration based on effort. If I click on this button, what ITM Platform will do is calculate the number of days required to complete that effort according to that resource. As our last advanced technique, we're going to review the critical path. To show the critical path, I'm going to click on this button called Highlight Critical Path. ITM Platform will highlight in red all tasks that have been calculated for critical. This means that any type of change in the duration or the finish date is going to alter the finish date for the entire project.